So we've got the foot set up, and we now want to put in a good knee control. And this is where the locator, which is now aligned, let me unhide it. We've got the locator that's correctly pointing down the leg plane. So we're going to use that to our own advantage. Okay, so I'm going to V-snap that locator to the knee, because the knee control will be at knee height. It makes sense for it to be there. And make sure the locator is not in world mode, but is in object translation, so that when I drag the locator off in its local mode, I know that it's always pointing back exactly to the knee. Okay. So with knee controls, I always find create quite a nice distance for the knee and elbow controls. If it's too close, the knee becomes very twitchy because any slight movement is too close to the knee. So if it's a little bit further away, it dampens off that knee and it makes it less twitchy. So roughly, I don't know, about a meter and a half in relative terms to your model. Okay, so I know that that is again aligned with the knee plane. Okay. So to create a good control for the knee, I use the KK controls a lot, the plugin a lot. And again, it's entirely up to you what you use. I quite like for knee controls, I like the sort of NURBS sphere. So I don't want, if you create an up node, that gives it a group, puts it under a group, so I don't want that. I just want the control on its own. And there it is sat at the origin. Okay, so let's call this rig underscore knee underscore left underscore control. Okay, so there's a language at which you're using now. Everything has a prefix rig, what it is, what side it is, and what the object is. Is it a control, a group, an IK handle? So hopefully that makes a little bit of sense. And literally V-snap the control to the locator. Let's make it a little bit bigger so it's easy to grab. And freeze transforms. Okay. So again, freeze transforms so that in that position, it's when the animator zeroes everything out, it all returns back to the sort of default position. And that's what you're aiming for in your controls. If the animator gets in trouble, it's just a case of zeroing out all the controls, and it will restore the rig back to the default position. Okay. So I no longer need that locator, so I'm going to select it and delete it. And I'm going to use this control as a pole vector for the IK, for the original IK handle, which is the thigh to the ankle. All right. So that's under foot left control. We grouped it, don't forget, and you will see that the IK handle is there. Okay. So with constraints, it's the driver first. So in which case it's this one. It's the actual control, and that's going to drive the ankle and IK handle. So go to constrain, and we want a pole vector. And as you can see, if you bring up the dialog box, there's nothing else that you really need. It's either full on or slightly off. You can adjust the weighting. Always keep it at default and click on add. All right. Now, because you've put this locator in line with the leg, you won't get any nasty snapping of the leg. So if it was just straight out in orthographic mode, the knee would snap, change its position. I want to keep the leg plane in the default orientation, so that's why we've moved that locator out. Right. So as you can see, if I lift the foot, then this now is a good knee control. Okay, and I can select both controls, zero everything out, and it restores back to the default position. So that we're in a great position now. Everything's working quite nicely, and the last video for the IK leg, we'll just look at setting up a really nice curve, just as a bit of visual nicety for the animator.